Last week we talked about patience, one of the six paramitas, which are the perfections of bodhisattva, characteristics of bodhisattva. And what I recall, paramita means to go from one shore to the other shore. So each paramita is a practice that will carry us from one shore to the other. And today we're going to talk about Dana, which is the practice of generosity or giving. And I had written a few words and sent them out. And hopefully you've all had a chance to look at them, but I'll read it anyway. And the common understanding of dana is the donations given by students to the teacher or to the temple. And this is an important aspect of dana that we should appreciate, but dana has broader implications. So in many centers, they just survive through dana. They ask those who come and participate to donate for the temple. And when I first studied dana, we talked about all the things that we can give. The most obvious thing is material things, money or land, or a building, and some centers, have received all these things from their supporters, but also going the other way. Another thing to give is the teachings, So that's kind of the role of the teacher, is to give the teachings, to share, without with any withholding at all. And then the thing that I learned that is most valuable to give is no fear. How do you give no fear? Well, that's an interesting thing just to even contemplate. How can one person give no fear to another person? Of course, one of the ways is to create an environment where there's nothing threatening, other than things that we create in our own minds. But some of the other things that I mentioned in this write-up are that all of the cycles of life and of nature are endless dana. The sun warms the water, which evaporates, and the wind blows the water over the land. And the land and animals disperse the seeds of the plants, and the mountains lift the air, which drops the water on the seeds, and animals eat the seeds, and in turn provide food for other animals, which, when they die and decay, add nutrients to the soil. And so each season has something to give and something to receive. So, like today we have, which might turn out to be a significant snowstorm, because it's supposed to snow all day today and tonight and into tomorrow. So, we could easily have 5 or 6 inches of snow here, but that's dana. That's providing, nature providing. And so are we open to receiving it? So, the attendance this morning, I'm sure, is a little diminished because of the dana of the skies. So there's a Zen saying that says, the giver, the recipient, and the thing that's given are none other than emptiness and tranquility. So that's the meaning of Dana Paramita. The very fundamental principle or teaching of the Buddha is to be selfless. And the Buddha is selfless, the giver is selfless, the recipient is selfless, and the thing that's given has no self. So wherever we stand, here becomes there, this becomes that, and the giver is also the recipient. And then Dogen Zenji wrote, only fools think that people benefit at that other people benefit at their expense. And he says further, it's not so, both benefit. And seen from the other side, this is so because it's one thing. But we are so nearsighted that we just see a very small part of it. And the more self-centered and selfish we are, the less we see. It's almost like a scale. One side goes up and the other side goes down. And Dogen's sentiment is the basis of Dana Paramita. It's not giving to something else or to someone else, it's giving. The Japanese translation is kisha, which means willing to abandon or cast away. That's giving. Willing to abandon. Well, that's what our practice is. As the third patriarch said, don't seek for the truth, just let go of your cherished opinions. So that's kind of abandonment. Letting go. So it's a process of letting go. So Dana, in this sense, it could be just letting go of whatever we're holding on to. And why are we holding on to it? That's another question. Usually to aggrandize ourselves in some way or to maintain our self-image. That we think that if we let go of certain conceptions, ideas, judgments, opinions, projections, that somehow will be diminished. But in my experience, the truth is that when we let go of that, we're not diminished, we're more expansive. We just are able to not only experience more, but also able to interact at a different level. The container of our life becomes bigger. It's not like there's so many slices in the pie, and if you divide it up with more people, each slice becomes smaller. No. What happens is that the pie becomes bigger. So there's always plenty. There's always plenty. So I just thought of a verse of the Bible that just came to me. As it say, cast your bread upon the water. Does anybody know that verse?
In days you'll find it coming back to you.
Yeah. Cast your bread upon the water and it will return to you. Not only return to you, but it will return to you manifold. Even more than you give away. Yeah. But that's no reason to give things away. Let's see, if I give things away, I'll get more back. Ooh, I'm going to start giving things away. That doesn't work like that. You have to be selfless. That's what Dogen says. If we're selfless, then we don't see any separation between ourselves and others. And we don't see any separation, between what we give and ourselves and others. I once went to a seminar with a woman named Lynn Twist, who wrote a money called The Soul Money. She wrote a book called The Soul of Money, and she's a fundraiser, but she's usually a fundraiser for charitable causes or socially engaged causes, and she talked about one time when she was in a church in Harlem, where she was raising money for some cause. I don't remember what it was, and the people in the congregation came up and gave her small amounts of money, whereas just earlier in that day she was at some big corporation where the guy they had a bad press and they wanted to give her money, and the guy, instead of handing the money to her, he had this big check on his desk, and he looked like this, and he kind of pushed the check over toward her, and she didn't take it. She didn't want it. But she went to this church, and there were people coming up and giving her, small amounts of money, very generously. And one of them said to her that, money's like water. you know, they said if you hold on to it, it's no use. It has to flow. It has to just keep flowing. Yeah. And then it, creates more things when it flows. And these are people that didn't have much, whereas, it always amazes me how somebody who can be a billionaire wants more. I can hardly count to a billion. It's so much money. It's unbelievable how much money it is. But still, this spirit of generosity, I think that's one of the lack of it, I think, is one of the biggest problems. That there's not just individual greed, but in certain, you can see it in our country, there's even corporate greed, institutional greed, So anyway, I think it's a wonderful practice, And I just want to say, too, that there's nothing wrong with having money, It's just if you're attached to it, if you think that it's going to define you, I always laugh when somebody once said to me, the object of life is to have the most money when you die. That's a capitalist way. He who has the most money when they die wins. That's what that was.
I heard that with toys too.
Toys.
He who has the most
Toys.
toys wins.
Toys? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, anyway, those are a few comments about Dana. So,